If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Tim Rose, and I'm with you here at Echo Base today. I've had a great time, and I played Admiral Akbar in Return of the Jedi, The Force Awakens, and finally in The Last Jedi. But the one thing that I seem to be remembered more than anything else is, it's a trap!
About to become part of the phenomena of Star Wars. In a few minutes, you'll see a movie that's become more than just a movie. For 7 years now, it's been part of my life, and the saga it's given birth to has touched the lives of millions of others. It has a magic, Star Wars. That magic doesn't lie only in its brilliant special effects. Its power derives from its spirit of romance and adventure. It's like the movies and cliffhanging serials of the past. It's an exciting and very special fantasy. And when it came out, the world went instantly Star Wars crazy.
I'm gonna need a minute.
So many people ask me about Sir Alec Guinness. I guess the two most often questions are Sir Alec and the robots. And there's a wonderful story that kind of tells you about both of them.
I heard your story on Twitter. Just this morning, my daughter Chelsea was showing me the video of you with your R2-D2 arm. Oh man, that is fantastic. Wow.
Cody, still a man of few words, but 2 words roll right off his tongue.
Who did you want to meet?
Mark Hamill.
Make-A-Wish made it happen.
there.
How are ya?
This whole thing. Yeah. Do you get that when you walk down the street in New York? Hey, Luke! All the time. Hey, Luke, how you doing, man?
I get a hallway see Luke this time.
I know what you're saying, man. I know. Like, Matt Rissman has the coolest head, like, in the... Oh, shoot.
Coach and Nick from Echo Base Network, thank you so much for being here with us tonight at Echo Base TV, where community happens. Network, thank you so much for being here with us tonight at Echo Base TV, where community happens.
This video is not intended for children. Viewer discretion is advised.
If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming by Echo Base Network. A very special thank you to all of our subscribers. You make us who we are. And if you haven't subscribed yet, we greatly appreciate your consideration. Please make sure, whether you subscribed or not, that you hit that like button and you comment below. We would love to engage with you in that way. Thank you guys so much.
Incoming ships. They are entering the area near buoy B-18.
Freighters requesting permission to pass through this sector.
TIE Fighter Alpha 2, inspect all craft.
Transport requesting permission to pass through this sector.
I know, dude. I keep telling everybody that Nick has a thing for Omega. Nobody believes me. In Egypt, they call it the Nile, but here we call it denial. I know, dude. It's so crazy. Every Saturday night during our live stream show, we have viewer pop-ins where you guys can come into our stream and meet us live and talk to us and tell us what's on your mind. We never know who's going to pop in because it's open to anybody. Occasionally, we meet some incredible people. And in this case, out of all 142 members of Echo Base Network, Nick met our favorite member. His name is the legendary Tron. We hope that you enjoy his story, and always remember, he fights. Hey folks, I am the disabled Tron on Twitch TV. I also go by Nate too. I do have a disability, which you can see. It's called cerebral palsy, and it affects my motor functions and does not allow me to speak well. But it doesn't stop me from doing what I love. I love to stream, to send out good vibes, and make people happy when they are having a bad day. I started loving Star Wars when I was around 5 years old. I saw A New Hope, then it was in my blood. Funny thing is, it did the same thing to my mom. I always liked George Lucas's vision for Star Wars. Sometimes, whenever I'm down in the dumps, I can always pop in Star Wars to cheer me up. How did I become a gamer and Twitch streamer? When I was a child, my family had a Nintendo. At that time, I was still able to use both hands. I had a joystick pad for that system, and even the Sega Genesis console. When I was 14 years old, my mom and grandparents decided to get me my very first laptop for communication and schoolwork. I was self-teaching myself how to use technology. I really enjoyed StarCraft and Heavy Gear. In 2016, I was able to have my own gaming rig and started my streaming career. I was playing EVE Online and met my best friend while watching him stream. I can't speak well because of my cerebral palsy, but I found a program called Stream Talk on Twitch. I was in awe by the program because it suited my needs. From that point on, I began growing my Twitch community called The Grid as the legendary Tron. All I care about is making people feel better, making them smile, having a good time, and spreading disability awareness. When you come to The Grid, please have patience so I can have the time to reply to your messages. I love to chat and want you to know that I appreciate you. Now, let's feel some of those good vibes. I want to break in here real quick. We have a brand new member who is going to have to leave, but he just popped in. His name is the Legendary Tron. And the Legendary Tron, ladies and gentlemen, just said in the chat that he is physically disabled and that he needs to type to be able to speak. And he said that he wanted to pop in and tell everybody hello. So everybody at Echo Base Network, if you would give a warm, warm welcome to our newest member, the Legendary Tron. Hello, sir.
The Legendary Tron. How you doing, man?
So good to see you, Tron.
Hey fam, how's it going? I am the Legendary Tron. I have cerebral palsy as my physical disability. I'm also a Twitch streamer. As far as Star Wars stuff, I didn't really like the sequel trilogy. I think Darth Kennedy is just destroying the franchise.
Yeah.
Absolutely, she
Legendary
is.
Tron gets it. He gets it.
Yes, he does. Hey, I'm going to tell you, Tron is one of my favorite movies ever. Did
Mine
you
too.
like the sequel to Tron?
Tron Legacy?
Let's go. Okay, I'm on your channel, and we just subscribed. Echo Base Network has now subscribed. That's right.
Legendary Tron.
Everybody go and subscribe to the Legendary Tron. The link is in the channel. Go and do that. Everybody must sub to the Legendary Tron.
Star Wars history. It may not look like much, but it's got it where it counts, kid. Ooh. Welcome to the show. So glad that you guys are here. Gonna be a great one. Ooh, hat's a little low. Eyebrows getting a little wild there. Not a good look. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for being here. Saturday night at your home, Echo Base Network, our live Saturday night show. And it is going to be a blast. Nick has had some technical difficulties, so he's going to be joining us with his phone tonight. So he'll be like on a call in per se, but it's all good. So welcome to the Saturday night show. Thank you for being here, all of our members, our mods, our subscribers, and especially our guest. A special shout out to our friend Cobra Dizzy Jedi, who has had some medical issues. So thoughts and prayers to you, my friend. Let us know how that is going. A little bit about the show, the channel, what's happening here lately. The call-in shows have been a huge success. We're going to be bringing you more of those throughout the week at night. So we'll always try to give you an announcement, a heads up. But the call-in shows have been really, really good. We've started gaming streams again. I started Final Fantasy VII last night. It was enjoyable. I played the first 2 chapters. So we'll be doing that more as well. We just had our Grand Masters meeting where they're able to meet with us and tell us what they think about what's going on with the channel, give us good feedback and things like that. Had a very good meeting with all of the Grand Masters today. We'll be having a members watch party tonight, immediately following the show tonight. So be ready for that. A couple things, a couple of successes about the channel here lately. We're up to 198 members. 198 members. Would love to get to 200 tonight. Thank you all. We're blown away that we got 198 members, especially with all of the member gifting that has been going on. That's really what has propelled us to the near 200 mark. So thank you guys for that. We're up to 39 patrons, so we're really excited about that. And here's a big one. We just hit today our 3.5 millionth view on our channel. 3.5 million views. So we're really, really excited about that, guys. And actually, we're just kind of blown away by it. So anyways, as always, there are 3 ways that you could join us and support us here at Echo Base Network. One, you could send us your Star Wars story. Everybody has a Star Wars story that is unique and is worthy of being shared. So if you'd like to send that to us, email that to me at echobasenetwork@gmail.com and just put member story or Star Wars story in the title of the email, and we will get to it. Second thing is you could join our member family and our patron family. We appreciate that. And the third and last thing, we appreciate your financial contributions, such as your super chats and your tips. We definitely appreciate that and keeping the fires burning here at the channel. Speaking of member stories, or not member stories, they're Star Wars stories. This person is not a member of the channel, but they sent us their Star Wars story, and we're going to read it because we love that. You do not have to be a member to do the Star Wars story deal. So here we go. A funny story my mom used to tell me. I was 4 when the original Star Wars movie came out. My sister was just 2. The whole family went to see Star Wars at a drive-in theater. My dad, who was in the Marines at the time, fell asleep during the movie, as did my sister. Mom thought we should go home, but I was so engrossed in the movie, I insisted that we stay, and we did. I didn't remember a time in my life where I didn't know and love Star Wars. The last movie I ever saw in the theater with Mom was The Force Awakens. She loved it. We had so much fun together that night. She got a kick out of everyone in their costumes, and she was excited every time there was a callback to the originals during the movie. Sadly, she passed away 1 month before Carrie Fisher under very similar circumstances. But I look back on that night The Force Awakens came out as a truly special time with my mom and sister, Kimberly. Kimberly, thank you so much for emailing us that Star Wars story. We greatly appreciate it. We love when everybody sends us those. So thank you so much for that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to bring the man on himself. Co-host here, co-host. He's the host of the show, just like me. He just likes me to start it off. So I don't mean co-host, co-partner here at the channel, at the station, if you will. Ladies and gentlemen, Nick. Yay!
What up? Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, you are really low, my friend.
What about now?
It's better.
Yeah, my service on this phone sucks.
Yeah.
It's
Give us some
so
feedback,
irritating.
guys.
So irritating not having internet. After hearing you read that Star Wars story, I just thought of something just to give a little positive start off to the show.
Sure.
Regardless of how you feel about most of Disney's Star Wars movies, that story right there makes me happy that those movies exist for those people that built those bonds and relationships and have that, have that moment with somebody else in their life that they're happy about, and they were able to share that moment together with those movies. So, on that aspect of it, I'm glad they exist, even though I do not like them.
So I have a very similar story. Before my mother passed away, she came over here to the house one day, and I had downloaded a copy of The Force Awakens before it actually came out. And we didn't watch the movie. I just played for her the final scene where Luke shows up. And dude, as I was standing there with my mother watching that, looking at her face, seeing Mark Hamill be Luke Skywalker again, and that moment, I wept like a baby. Like, it was just, I was flooded with emotion. And my mom, like, she laughed at me, but she hugged me, and like we were laughing about it. So yeah, I definitely get those stories, and I really appreciate them. We need more and more stories like that. So you're right. Very, very good there. Nick, we got some super chats to clear real quick. Cardinal Sin sends in a 1999 super sticker. Thank you very much, Cardinal, for sending that in, man. You are the man, and we appreciate you. We have another somebody that always starts our show off with a super chat, and we greatly appreciate him, is Bobby F65. Bobby F sends a super chat, and he just simply says something that we say, like, I guess we say it about every day. We are, you are, Echo Base Network. I'm trying to find it to highlight it. There it is. We are, you are, Echo Base Network. So thank you, Bobby, for your continued support and doing that, man. JD636 has gifted 5 Echo Base Network memberships tonight. So if you would like to pick up one of those memberships, if you don't have one, there are 5 available. Just go claim it. The mod team will help you figure out how to do that if you can't figure it out on your own. And that's going to put us at 203 members, Nick, which is
that's awesome.
Incredible.
Yep. And to accept those gifted memberships, you got to be on PC. It doesn't work on mobile. You won't see it pop up in the chat on a mobile device. You got to be on an actual computer, like in Chrome or Edge or Firefox or something. And then you'll see when someone gifts memberships, you'll see a link pop up and you can click on one, and the first 5 people basically to claim it are the ones that get it.
Right. All right. And last but not least, our brother Felix Kiro sends in a $5 super chat. I'm looking forward to hearing about the latest Star Wars news and Kenobi series analysis. Hit the like button and share the stream. We are, you are, Echo Base Network. Well, guys, thank you so much for your continued support. For Bobby F65, Cardinal Sin, and Felix Kiros, we are, you are, Echo Base Network, and this video is for you. And thank you so much, JD636, man. That's my buddy, for gifting 5 new memberships and 5 people picking those up. This is for you, my friend, and our new members. All right, Nick, you were about to say something?
I was just going to say it's funny you showed that super chat clip, because that same clip's going to come up later on in tonight's show.
We have some awesome stuff for you guys tonight in the show. I really think that you're going to enjoy it. As a matter of fact, I'm just kind of chit chat with the chat for a second. We got our guests that are on the way; they'll be here any moment.
Yeah. We put together some clips, some serious like contradiction clips and some funny clips, with some comparisons with Kenobi and the OT or the prequel trilogy. There's even part of a clip from the sequel trilogy in there. I think you guys will find it funny and entertaining. All these clips that we are showing you guys tonight will drop every hour on the hour tomorrow, starting at 10 a.m. So we're going to drop all these clips on the channel, so you'll be able to go back and watch them. And of course, if there's content creators out there that want to use any of them, you guys are free to use them.
Absolutely. Well, Nick, while we're waiting on our guest to come in, there is a really good article that I kind of wanted to hit with you tonight.
Yeah.
Let me pull it up here. So Screen Rant has released this article. And so they did a little homework for us that I appreciate. The 10 highest rated episodes of Star Wars Disney Plus series, according to the International Movie Database. So you could probably already guess what you think. But let's get everybody in chat real quick, if you guys don't mind, without cheating. What do you think is going to be the highest rated Star Wars show, live action or animated series we've ever gotten? Throw it to the chat. Let's see what it is. Mattuine, we know what number 1 is. Well, what do you think it is? I'm not sure. Tell me.
I think, well, from what I remember reading, I think, and I haven't seen this article, so I don't know what it actually is, but I think it's the final episode of Book of Boba Fett, which supposedly outdid the Return of Luke Skywalker, which I don't know how that would be possible, but that Return of Luke Skywalker might have just brought in a whole lot of more people to these Disney Plus shows, possibly. Who knows?
Yeah. Mando Season 2, Episode 8. So that's Chapter 16. That's the Return of Luke Skywalker, the rescue. Got a lot of people saying that. Mandalorian with Luke. Clone Wars Season 7, and it's not close. Whoa. Mandalorian. Hello there, Brett. Good to see you. Season 2 finale, The Clone Wars, Chapter 16, Mandalorian. So we got like a little tug of war going between some Clone Wars animated Season 7 and Luke's return. So very interesting. Well, let's look at the article and see, Nick, what we've got here in the top 10 and see what everybody thinks about this. So the 10 highest rated episodes of Star Wars Disney Plus series, according to the IMDb. So starting with number 10, The Mandalorian, The Tragedy. So that's 1 for The Mandalorian. Now, if I remember correctly, this is chapter 14 where Grogu was taken. Okay. This is the episode, Nick, where we get Boba Fett back, like for real.
Yeah. That was a good episode. I like that.
It's a very good episode. I could see this episode making the top 10 list. How about you?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, and just FYI, before you continue the next one, I cannot see the chat at all, guys.
Okay,
I only have this one window open, so I can't see what anybody is saying.
All good. I got you. Don't worry. Coach is here. Let me run this game real quick. I got this. All right. Number 9, The Book of Boba Fett, Return of the Mandalorian. So this is the episode where he talks to the armorer and he goes and to get Grogu, to see Grogu.
Yeah. Basically, Mando season 2.5.
Right. But I gotta say, that was a great episode.
Yeah.
Now,
it was one of my favorites of the entire show for sure.
Well, yeah, because we didn't really like the show that much. But that being said, that's neither here nor there. We really enjoyed that singular episode. It just kind of didn't fit into the Book of Boba Fett. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. All right. Number 8. Oh, another Mandalorian. So hang on a second. All right. So 2 Mandos and the Return of the Mandalorian in the Book of Boba Fett. So I'm seeing the pattern here. So number 8 is The Mandalorian Redemption. This is the final episode. This is the finale of season 1 and the death of IG-11.
Yeah, another good episode. I'm not surprised it's on the list.
Yeah, neither am I. It was a very good episode. I'm sorry, I'm trying to pull up the stream here. It's struggling to pull it up. You guys bear with me just a second. Something weird is happening, but we're gonna fix it. No worries.
Glad to know I'm not the only one having problems tonight.
Technical difficulties arise, as you are all aware. All right, here we go. All right. So next up on the list, there we go. Got it. Next up on the list, number 7, The Book of Boba Fett, From the Desert Comes a Stranger, Nick. Now, this episode, this does not feature Mando.
Nope.
This is the one where Cad Bane shows up. And I got to say, as I look back, I don't really remember the entire episode, but I loved seeing Cad Bane show up. Like that was a good part of the episode, at least.
Oh no! This was one with Mando in it, because remember,
was it?
Remember this happened right after Mando left, after talking to what's his face, the sheriff there. I'm drawing a blank on his name. Remember, Mando went there to ask him to come help.
Yes. Oh my gosh!
And then Mando leaves, and then Cobb
Vanth.
shows
Thank
up.
you so much, Marks.
Yep.
Cobb Vanth. Yep. Very true. All right, and then so I don't think that episode is better than some of these others, but okay, I'm down with that. Uh, number 6. Ooh, yeah, that's definitely in the top 10 for me.
Yeah, great episode.
It's the Jedi. It's the first time we've seen the live action Ahsoka. And that, for me, is where a great deal of momentum started for Mandalorian season 2.
Absolutely.
That's woo, love it. I love that. As bad as things have been lately for me and you, looking back at this list, we've gotten some pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, most of the episodes they've shown so far are definitely rewatchable, and I could easily sit down and rewatch any of the ones that they're showing so far.
Yep, for sure. Next up on the list, number 5, The Clone Wars Old Friends Not Forgotten. It's got a score of 9.7. So a lot of our people in the chat were saying Clone Wars season 7, man, that's top 10. Top 10. So there it is right there.
Yeah.
Old Friends Not Now Forgotten kicks off the final arc. I think it's the final 3 episodes, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 4, sitting at a 9.7 user rating. The episodes reunites Ahsoka with Anakin and Obi Wan as they seek to remove Maul from the throne of Mandalore, teaming up, excuse me, with Bo-Katan. So this introduces that final story arc, and you enjoyed that arc, didn't you?
Yeah, the last 4 episodes of season 7 were the only 4 episodes I watched
of season 7.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I was telling you how great they were, and
yeah,
then you tuned in. The Clone Wars. There it is again, ladies and gentlemen. Shattered, the penultimate episode of the Clone Wars entitled Shattered, which holds a 9.8 rating on the International Movie Database, finally delivers on the show's promise to depict a new angle to the infamous Order 66 scene in Revenge of the Sith. The episode features Ahsoka Tano's story as the clone troopers are ordered to kill their Jedi generals. Heartbreaking and very awesome to watch go down. And then number 3, there it is. The Rescue. Now that's going to trigger some people in chat. Mandalorian Chapter 16 is the 3rd highest rated on the IMDb.
I figured it would be in the top 3 at least, if not number 1.
Yeah. Well, see, so I would have agreed with everybody else in chat. I think the majority of the people here were saying it's got to be Mandalorian season 2 finale. It's Chapter 16. It's The Rescue. It's The Return of Luke. It's everything that you guys were calling it. The show was so great. It's got all these different names, and you could say it, and everybody knows what you're talking about. The Return of Luke. Like that's what they should have called it. Return of the Jedi. You know what I mean? Part 2.
Yep.
So it says the season 2 finale of The Mandalorian and the most recent episode thus far, The Rescue, aired in December of 2020, almost 2 years later. The episode enjoys a healthy IMDb rating of 9.8, thanks in part to its epic finale, which saw the return of a major Star Wars character and the emotional ending to season 2's compelling plot. So, and I can't wait for some Mando season 3 and see where that goes. Now, number 2 on the list, Victory and Death, 9.9 rated. The Clone Wars season 7, Victory and Death. If you don't remember, Nick, it says sitting at a pristine 9.9 user rating. Victory and Death is one of the highest rated episodes in Star Wars history, also acting as the greatest season finale in the Clone Wars history. The final episode of the animated anthology series depicted Ahsoka Tano and Captain Rex as they attempt to escape the onset of Order 66 without harming their brainwashed comrades.
Yeah, that was a great episode.
It was a great episode. Vader shows up at the end, and he's walking around there. Looking around.
Yeah, that was super cool seeing him show up.
Yeah, I loved it too. And then, ladies and gentlemen, number 1, a lot of you guys guessed it, The Phantom Apprentice, The Clone Wars, 9.9 rated. It says The Phantom Apprentice, the 2nd episode of the final arc of Star Wars, The Clone Wars, is the highest rated episode of Star Wars television to premiere on Disney Plus with a 9.9 rating from the International Movie Database. The episode features the return of Darth Maul, who confronts Ahsoka Tano during the siege of Mandalore with an offer. When Ahsoka refuses, however, the two engage in a no-holds-barred duel in the rafters of the city.
So that was episode 2 of season 7?
No, it was the second episode in her arc. So it was the second episode of the 4.
Okay. All right. So the final 4, it was how many episodes was in that season?
I don't remember. I want to say like 10 or 11. Somebody will look it up and tell us. Because there was like the first 3 or 4 episodes, there might have been 12. Because there was some early on episodes that were pretty good, and then they got into the Ahsoka part, which kind of went flat, and then they went to the final arc, which was really good. So, and I was all down for that. So, guys, what do you think? What do you think about that list? Throw it to us in chat, and let us know what you're thinking. And while you're doing that, thank you very much for Blood Guilty Gaming with the $2 super chat. My Rebel Scum Network account can't super chat. Oh, man. Well, thank you everybody. Go and subscribe. Blood Guilty Gaming has a new channel called Rebel Scum Network. Go and check that out. He's going to be delivering some great Star Wars content over there. So thank you, bro. And let's see. We have another super chat here somewhere. I know I saw it. Sometimes this StreamYard thing just kind of...
Yeah, it'll jump on you, and then you got to scroll back up. It gets super irritating sometimes.
Blood Guilty Gaming, we are, you are. So thank you so much, bro. And then Debbie Young has gifted also 5 Echo Base Network memberships. That will put us at 208 members. Thank you guys so much for that.
New emojis.
We'll come back right back with your comments about the article that we just went over. We are, you are Echo Base Network, and this video is for you. Yeah, Nick, Dominic lets us know that it was 12 episodes. It was 3 4-part arcs. That's what I thought it was.
Okay, 12.
XFit Vader, good list, doesn't really matter the order. And I'm with you. Every episode that was dropped, and they didn't pick like episodes that they thought were the 10 best. They're literally the highest rated on the IMDb. So that's what we saw there. In reverse order, going from least highest rated to highest rated. So that's good Star Wars in terms of the streaming services. Agree or disagree, Nick?
Yeah, I agree. There's some good stuff out there for sure. And when we get good stuff like that, we definitely need to let them know that we think it's good and this is what we want more of. And then when we think it's poo-poo, then we let them know that too.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So Donna says good list. Daryl 9.9. Brandon says that list is accurate. Eric Brown, it went Bad Batch, Twins, then Ahsoka. Yes. That's right. That's right. That's the arc of this season 7. Very true.
Bad Batch was at the beginning of season 7?
Yes. Yeah, that's where we first meet them.
See, I never watched those.
Yeah.
Because I only watched the final 4. So I'll have to go back and watch those first.
Yep. And they were good. Those were good episodes.
No Omega in it, right?
No.
Okay, good.
Colleen says, I think we should make an EBN top 10 list. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Dominic, the Clone Wars season 7, imagine thinking Rebels compares. Oh, man, he just threw the gauntlet. Rissman, Rebels greater than Clone Wars. How about no, Matt? Okay.
I agree with Matt, but I haven't seen all of Clone Wars, so of course I'm going to be biased there because
all right,
I've seen Clone Wars.
It's poll time.
Or all of Rebels.
It's poll time because you can't say that sacrilege on this channel and us not do a poll because I don't think it's even close.
I think the vast majority of Star Wars fans appreciate Clone Wars more. Again, I haven't seen all of Clone Wars. I'm guessing Matt probably has.
I don't know how to do a poll. Oh, there it is. All right.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed Rebels.
What I just did something bad. Okay. All right. Ignore that poll. It had nothing. It was 0-0. Oh my gosh. Which is better?
I would
Clone
guess
Wars,
I would guess that the chat's probably gonna choose Clone Wars.
All right, polls up. Bring them in. Bring them in. Let's go. Let's go. What do we got? Hey, wait. Clone Wars.
But Rebels was pretty badass. I liked
Rebels
it.
was great.
Yeah.
But Clone Wars is a whole other thing, baby. All right. Clone Wars at 82% at the moment. Oh, just dropped to 73. It's a war. It's a war.
Well, where's my Rebel folks out there?
You and Risman, and that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, Leia Rose. Matt's about to cry. James Kling says Rebels all day. Donna, Rebels. What is going on, y'all? Are you serious? See, it's okay to disagree.
I just like the Empire stuff. I like the Empire stuff more than I like the Republic and the Separatists.
You know what's cool about what we're doing right now?
Plus Thrawn's in it. What?
We're actually saying which one we like better.
Yeah.
We're not saying which one sucks worse.
Yeah.
Book of Boba Fett or Kenobi.
We'll have plenty of that later on in the show. So we're starting off with a little bit of positivity here.
Yeah, we're starting off with some positivity before we lay the hammer down. And
yeah.
Hilarious. Melvor, Clone Wars for the win.
Melvor, get Jay to respond to my email on the LucasArts documentary. He's the only one I'm waiting on. I've literally paid him in super chat money, or not super chat, but in donos on his stream, and he still hasn't done it. Get on his ass, Melvor.
Melvor, I think Nick is just like Jay. Like, to me, just can't be relied on.
That's what they all say about Melvor, and Melvor's already given his.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Billy and Jay both.
Doesn't Melvor do all the editing and everything?
No, Billy does, but that's one of the things I get on to Melvor about is editing. Like, apparently there's a Toy Chasers episode he's been editing for like 3 years or something.
Wow. Crass Socks has joined. He is a newest YouTube member. He is joined as a Jedi Master. Oh my gosh, folks. We got to play this for him. Thank you, Crass Socks. We are Echo Based Network, and this is for you, sir. And Venger sends in a 10-pound super chat. There's a cut scene from the Clone Wars Bad Batch where Anakin sees a sexy painting of Padme on the hull of Bad Batch's shuttle, and he was going to lose his temper until he saw Rex approaching. I don't remember that.
Interesting.
Oh, it's a cut scene, so it never made it.
Oh, like it's a deleted scene.
Yeah. We'll have to look into that. That would be really cool. Very cool. Venger, if you could find that, shoot that to me in a DM. Yeah. I would love that. I would love to see that. I'll have to look for that. So,
I'm sure it's probably on YouTube.
Probably is. Leia, he's not hiding. He's on his phone tonight because he doesn't have internet at the moment.
Yeah,
his power's down.
Yeah, there's an outage in my area it's out for the whole neighborhood.
So I'm guessing you're sitting out on your back patio smoking a cigarette.
Nope,
chilling.
I'm actually laying in the bed.
Oh, laying in the bed.
Yeah.
What is this? A cozy Saturday Night Live show?
Cozy time with EBN.
Oh, that's too much. Too much.
Yeah,
Cozy time with Nick.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here chilling and chatting.
So Nick, I think we might have got stood up by the girls. So we're gonna go ahead and move on. You ready to do this?
Yeah, I haven't checked Twitter because
I just did. They're just running late. We're good. And if something happens, that's okay. We love the girls. They're awesome. Yep. But we're not going to wait anymore. We're going to get in the meat of what we're doing.
Yeah.
So Nick and I, and many of you throughout the whole conversation about Kenobi, you keep thinking about what doesn't fit. Like some things, Rissman calls them barriers to entry. Some things that there's a discontinuity there. It's not there. There's a lack of continuity. It's like square peg in the round hole kind of thing. It doesn't fit. They contradict each other. You want to speak a little bit on that, Nick, and tell everybody how long you worked on this?
Yeah. So I worked on this off and on throughout the entire day, Thursday, and I worked on it yesterday, and I worked on it even more and made more clips and edited existing ones last night. So yeah, I put a lot of hours into hunting all these clips down, editing them all together. Some of these are funny, some of these are serious. But this isn't all just poo-poo on Kenobi. There's a couple in there that are poo-poo on George Lucas.
Exactly.
Because this doesn't make sense. So I was being fair in my critique of what's been happening in the
say that again. Say that again so everybody can hear that. And believe it or not, the original trilogy isn't perfect, guys.
Yeah. There's some issues that, and really, the original trilogy by itself, I think, is as close to perfect as you can get. But when the prequels got introduced, then there were some things that didn't line up and add up and make sense. And that's on George Lucas. So, there's a couple of those in there as well. And some of these things we thought might be explained in the Kenobi show, or it might bridge that continuity gap or give an explanation. Or something like that, but so far we haven't seen anything, and now it just seems to be just like a big huge mess almost. Like I almost wish that if George Lucas still had it, he could go back and re-edit the prequels through Return of the Jedi and kind of revamp the prequels and the OT and kind of make it all together a little bit better.
Well, so there's a lot of people in chat that they don't get quite what we're saying yet. You're about to see the evidence.
Yeah.
Like, and our boy Darcipio says critiquing George Lucas is blasphemous. Well, some things are just glaring.
Yeah.
And here's my example. Leia never should have been Luke's sister.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll take that to the grave. That's something I'm not a fan of.
I got no problem with Ewoks though.
Yeah, me either. All right, so let's go ahead and so I'm gonna roll the clip, Nick, and you'll be able to see it, right?
Yes. Yes, I will be able to see it.
All right, folks. So here we go. We're gonna give you some commentary. Enjoy this. We got several of these to go through, and we'll explain them, but pay close attention.
And also real quick, all of these will release tomorrow, starting at 10 a.m., going all the way through I think 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Every hour, one of these clips will drop. So, like I said earlier in the show, you guys will be able to see all these singular throughout the day tomorrow.
All right, here we go.
only protection he needs now, Owen, is you and Brew.
If they trace the robots here, they may have learned who they sold them to, and that would lead them back home.
Owen! And Brew! Owen!
All right, so I'm sure there's some people going, "What did I just see? Like, what message are you giving us here, Nick? Why don't you speak on that a little bit?"
Yeah. So this is one of the issues I had, watching the OT and then watching this is Owen and Aunt Beru were easily able to somewhat fend off Reva for the most part without getting killed. But then you go to A New Hope and, they get taken out by some stormtroopers, which stormtroopers' track records are, not very good.
The one time stormtroopers didn't miss, says John Phillips.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Humphrey Bear said toasted. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
And that's the only protection Luke needed was them two, is what Obi-Wan said. And then they couldn't. If Luke would have been there, they wouldn't have been obviously been able to protect them.
Right. Yep.
So
I'm with you. I am with you. All right. So
yep. The only reason Luke didn't die is because he just wasn't there.
Yep, we are good. So we have a very special guest who just showed up. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring her on. I am out of the StreamYard world. It's so dummy proof and I mess it up. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Michelle from Force of Light Entertainment. Let's go.
Hey.
Well, hey, gentlemen.
If you haven't heard, I have no internet at the house, and I'm having to do this from my phone.
Gotcha. It happens. It
happens. All right, you want to get Michelle a little caught up on what we're doing right now, and then when we finish this, I'd like her, if she's willing, kind of give us her take on Kenobi as a whole. But go ahead, Nick, and tell her what we're doing right now.
So we were actually going to get you to do this before, but we'd finished everything up and we didn't really know how late you were going to be. So we just went ahead and started this segment. So after we finished this segment, which basically this segment is, I put together a bunch of clips of Kenobi in comparison to OT stuff or prequel stuff or whatever. And then we're kind of making comments about it and the reason behind the clip. And then, of course, once we go through these, as we go through these, you can give your take and what you think of them. And then once we get done, we'll kind of get your overall thoughts and stuff on the show.
Sounds good.
So tell her a little bit about the one we just played, and then we'll play it for her so she'll
understand. Because it was the first.
Yeah,
it's the first one we've done. So the one. Well, do you want to just play it, then I'll explain it?
Well, I think if you explain it, she knows what she's looking at.
Okay. All right. So basically, this clip is basically in the Kenobi show. Kenobi tells Owen Beru, he just needs to be a boy. You guys are all he needs for protection. And then earlier, in that final episode, they fend off Reva, a Force user with a lightsaber. But then you fast forward,
Beru,
versus
Reva.
Then you fast forward to A New Hope, and they get freaking smoked by some stormtroopers who don't have a very good track record of doing anything right.
So here's the clip.
The only protection he needs now, Owen, is you and Brew.
If they trace the robots here, they may have learned who they sold them to, and that would lead them back home.
Owen! And Brew! Owen!
All right, so you see what he's doing there. So I promise you, tonight's live stream is not, let's just, throw tomatoes at Kenobi all night. I promise you that's not what we're doing. But we're going to do it a little bit. Because
and
there
some
are
of this.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say some of this is not just on Kenobi. Some of this is like some George Lucas inconsistencies as well.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
All right. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Clip number 2. Nick titled this one. Maybe that's what I ought to do, Nick. I ought to tell him what you titled it.
Okay,
But I can't say the no words. So
well, just use what I
yeah,
have.
I got it. I got it. So this one says Leia gives no F's about Kenobi.
Yeah.
Kenobi, years ago you served my father in the Clone Wars. Now he begs you to help him in his struggle against the Empire. I regret that I am unable to present my father's request to you in person, but my ship has fallen under attack, and I'm afraid my mission to bring you to Alderaan has failed. This is our most desperate hour. Help me, Obi Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you.
You're who?
I'm here to rescue you. I've got your R2 unit. I'm here with Ben Kenobi.
Ben Kenobi? Where is he?
Come on. Can't believe he's gone.
There wasn't anything you could have done.
So yeah, they're showing basically like she doesn't seem too upset about the
C-3PO even seemed more upset than
yeah. She spends all this time with him. He saves her life, and then when he dies, she's just like, it's okay, Luke. There's nothing you could have done. Like he's just some other person.
Exactly.
I guarantee you, if you ask George Lucas, did Leia ever personally know Obi-Wan before Episode 4? He'd say no.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, if they were going to do this with the Leia thing, she should have only, they should have done it in a way where she really was only with Kenobi for, a few minutes. Like, maybe riding home. But they spent so much time together. I honestly thought they would, wipe her brain, but they didn't.
Holding hands.
Yeah. I mean, it's very personal between the two of them.
Very
in the
much.
show.
Yep. All right. Well, that's in chat. Let us know what you think about these clips. But Nick did a great job pointing these out, these inconsistencies, if you will. Here's another one. I love this one. Oh, gosh.
Increase firepower.
At once, Lord Vader.
Keep firing, assholes!
Careful, you idiot! I said across her nose, not up it.
Increase firepower.
Yeah. I just thought it was such a weird line for Star Wars. Like increase firepower. Like make the lasers go from level 3 power to level 10 power. No. That doesn't make sense, in Jedi, I saw Risman point out, in Jedi, they said, increase forward fire batteries so that nothing gets through. He's just saying there, increase the amount, the directional, the direction of the batteries towards the front, so that nothing gets through to the bridge to protect the bridge. He wasn't saying increase the power of the lasers. He was just saying increase the number of lasers focused into a certain area, which was the forward batteries for the bridge and stuff.
Yeah, so, it makes you wonder, why not just start with the maximum firepower?
Yeah.
I mean, are they trying to destroy the ship?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Do you not have tractor beams?
Yeah.
Why aren't you launching TIE fighters? I have so many questions.
Yep. I got another one for that in the clip later on.
All right. Here we go. Oh, yeah. I remember this one.
Lord Vader will be pleased. You didn't know. He's alive, Obi-Wan. Anakin Skywalker is alive.
To protect you both from the Emperor, you were hidden from your father when you were born.
So that one right there is like, if Obi-Wan tells Luke, to protect you, um, from the, what did he say, from the Empire or from the Emperor? You were hidden from your father when you were born.
Yes.
Like if Kenobi thought that Anakin was dead, why would he need to hide them from their father? If he's dead, how are you needing to hide someone from a dead person?
Did everybody in the chat get that? I think, can you articulate that a little bit more? Because the first time you said that to me, it went whoop, but now it totally makes sense.
Yeah. So if he's having to hide Luke and Leia from their father when they were born, but his father was dead, why would you need to hide them from a dead person? My point being, he never thought that Anakin or Vader was dead. He knew that he was still alive the whole time. This show makes it out to be like he didn't know until 10 years later that Anakin was alive. But if you go back to that line in Jedi, obviously he knew he was alive at the time because they hid them from their father when they were born.
Okay, so this is one where we could kind of point our finger at Lucas.
Yeah, because the prequels don't. You definitely. I mean, you don't know that Obi-Wan would know he's alive.
I mean, it insinuates Obi-Wan thinks he's dead.
Yes, yeah.
To me. So yeah, that's a Lucas problem right there. And don't worry, Straight Vibe 3. A lot of us have never thought of that. That one was new to me. Donna Hergenrither says Force of Light is an awesome channel.
Yes,
Thank
it is.
you.
Everybody go sub. Mods be putting links for their channel in chat. I'm sure you guys already have.
Yep. All right. So I guess we got some people in chat that don't quite get it. Eric Brown's like, what? Are you high? No. Like, tell us what you don't understand about it, and we'll get you the coloring book edition. But it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Let's get the next clip. Oh, yeah. I love this.
Obi Wan Kenobi. Obi Wan. Now that's a name I've not heard in a long time. A long time. I haven't gone by the name of Obi Wan since before you were born.
Goodbye, Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan!
Obi-Wan is dead.
You want to explain that one?
So there again, if you just look at Alec Guinness's face and the words he says in A New Hope, he obviously has not gone by the name of Obi-Wan or even heard that name Obi-Wan since he basically went into hiding, which was 20 years before that time. Not just like 10 years ago, which to some people 10 years ago feels like yesterday. You can look at his face and tell that it's been a long time since he's heard the name Obi-Wan. Like, if I heard somebody's name that I hadn't seen since 10 years ago, I wouldn't be like, whoa, that's a name I've not heard in a long time. And then emphasize a long time. It just doesn't make sense.
No.
Oh my gosh. All right. All right. Are we ready for the next one, Dick?
Yep.
All right. Here we go, everybody. Are we blowing your minds yet? Let us know.
No!
join me, and together we can rule the galaxy as father and son. Come with me. It is the only way.
I follow you. I see what you did there, Nick. I see what you did there.
I mean, he's picking Obi-Wan up. Obi-Wan's stopping somebody from falling. Why is Vader not just grabbing Luke and being like, no, you ain't going down that hole, buddy. You're coming with me or dying.
Come here, Luke.
Yeah.
You're not going down that hole, buddy.
Yeah.
It also makes me think of the scene after that where Vader's in the window of the Super Star Destroyer watching the Millennium Falcon. Why didn't you just stop it? Nope, come here.
Yeah, I got a clip on that too.
Okay. Oh, you're on it, man. You're on it. Let us know what you're thinking, chat. Are we being unfair? I don't think so. Like, this is the problem with them creating more and more Star Wars. When you have something that's so good and you create more into that, you keep adding new toys into that sandbox, you're going to mess something up. And I think that's kind of what's happening here. What do you guys think?
And that's what I'm talking about when I've said in the past, like, when you have respect for something and you take something serious, you pay attention to the details, you give your best on creating something. I feel like they are not paying attention to the details here. I mean, this would have been all stuff I would have come up and thought of and gone over in the story group room before the filming even began.
Absolutely. Like, this is stuff, like, if you're going to mess with Obi-Wan and Vader before A New Hope, you need to have people that as you said, respect the material, that they do the massive amounts of homework and then really work their script to perfectly line up with the story. Like, that exactly. It fits. And they just did not do that at all.
Yeah, I'm with you. Eric Brown is apparently not liking these clips. He says, George Lucas never made Obi-Wan think Anakin was dead. You flipped your DAMN argument midstream. I don't think we flipped the argument. And
now, what did he say?
He said George Lucas never made Obi-Wan think Anakin was dead.
Yeah, I mean, I never got that sense. I mean, I guess somebody could interpret it. I guess somebody could interpret it any way that they wanted to, because they weren't clear either way.
So you don't think at the end of Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan thought Anakin was dead?
Well, he was obviously still alive when he walked away. I mean, he left him there for dead. But there was never a line of Obi-Wan saying, yeah, Anakin's dead, or no, he's still alive.
Well,
like,
of course.
They never confirm it.
Right. But this show kind of makes you realize Obi-Wan did think he was dead.
Yeah, but then you go to Jedi.
But I already thought that.
Yeah, but then you go to Jedi and Obi-Wan says, to protect you both, you were hidden from your father when you were born. Right. If he thought he was dead, what would be the need to hide him from their father? If he would have said to hide you from the Emperor or hide you from the Sith, but he said father. So that goes on. That's on Disney there. And that's on Lucas a little bit.
That's what I was saying. It's on Lucas too.
For Revenge of the Sith, for not clarifying that.
Yep.
You asked making that obviously.
You asked the majority of fans if they thought Anakin or Obi-Wan thought Anakin was dead at the end of Revenge of the Sith. Most would have said yes. So that's my personal opinion. That's my opinion, dude. So
yeah. There's no confirmation either way. So it's just comes down to the individual's viewpoint.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. I like the pushback. Push back. Let's go.
Would it help if I got out and pushed? Captain said it.
Speaking of pushing.
Would it help if I got out and pushed?
Captain Solar. Mike, I noticed earlier the hyperdrive motivator has been damaged. It's impossible to go to light.
We're in trouble. Where's our booster? You'll be a damper? No! That's not it. Bring me the hydrospan.
I don't know how we're gonna get out of this one.
Transfer circuits are working. It's not my fault.
No light speed.
It's not my fault.
Oh, what a mess. Chewie, you think you can repair him?
They told me they fixed it. I trusted them to fix it. It's not my fault.
How would you know the hyperdrive is deactivated? The city's central computer told you.
Chewie!
You don't know how to fix the hyperdrive. Chewbacca can do it.
You did it!
I'm going to need a ladder.
It's not playtime right now, Princess.
Where is it? Come on. There it is. Lola, what are you doing in here? Lola, stop! A swimming pool. Got it. Much better. Got it.
Leia, the 10-year-old repair kid. You know, when Empire in Star Wars, she doesn't fix anything. You know, everything's breaking down around her, and she doesn't know how to fix that stuff.
Nick,
You know?
she just didn't want to show up the men, okay?
Yeah. It's like, it's just not believable that Leia would know how to go in there and fix that landing bay door, you know, with all the wires and stuff. Like, oh yeah, just give me this tool, and I'm gonna need a ladder because I minored in electronics when I was on Alderaan, you know. it's just not believable.
It's not.
And I'm not a fan. There's nothing in Leia's past that we've seen that shows that she's some sort of electrical engineer,
gifted with electronics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like an Anakin, a Luke, even, or an Ahsoka.
Yeah,
they were gifted with their hands and repairing things and stuff like that.
And they grew up that way, learning that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. Well, Ahsoka learned it from Anakin. It's in the Ahsoka novel they talk about it for several pages. And I kind of like that. I thought that was a nice touch in The Mandalorian, where we go to that planet, whatever it's called. I don't think anybody knows. And you see Luke there with Grogu, and then there's Ahsoka right there with all of those droids building the school, the temple, whatever you want to call it. That makes sense because Ahsoka is brilliant with all the droids.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe she's the one that made those. I don't know. I kind of thought it was implied.
Yeah. The other thing in that clip, which I didn't make a specific clip on, is the restraining bolt. Never in Star Wars history does the restraining bolt turn any droid evil with red eyes. It was so dumb. You would literally have to reprogram Lola. Putting a restraining bolt on it is not going to turn it into evil Johnny Five from Short Circuit, you know, where he's, you know, trying to blast everything.
Leia simply bypassed the compressor.
Yeah. you know, and the thing is with Rey, at least I give Rey a pass because she grew up a scavenger, going
Right.
through the Star Destroyer, dealing with parts. She built her home out of an AT-AT. So at least I give her at least a pass, somewhat. But
The
Leia,
only thing I
a
didn't like
10-year-old,
about that was she one-upped Han Solo on his
yeah,
ship.
yeah. That I didn't like that aspect of it, but the fact that she knew how to do stuff was believable from what they've shown of her before that point. Leia, all we do is see her running through the woods, climbing trees, going to and waving at the crowds, and even what comes of Leia in the OT or later on in the future, there's just no evidence or anything to show that she was good with her hands and repairing stuff like that. And I've heard the argument, well, that she's a Skywalker, so it's like godlike powers. They just know how to do stuff. I'm like, you were at that point, you're literally just making excuses for the show at that point, in my opinion.
What do you say, Michelle?
Oh, I totally agree. I mean, if you guys have watched my reviews, I mean, it's like with this show, you're not even nitpicking. I guess some things could be considered a nitpick, but it's like when there's so many of them sprinkled throughout the show, I don't even think that's a nitpick at this point. It's just really bad writing. Like, it's not believable. That's what Nick's saying, and it's true. Like, you don't believe it because it doesn't line up with what we've seen.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Louise X Sparrow, one of our members, she says she couldn't fix Lola. And you're right. She was not capable of fixing a broken Lola. So,
and that was her droid. That would be like me saying, I can't fix my own gun. It's my gun. I work with it all the time. But if you say, hey,
I get it.
Go in here and fix this car compressor or something, I'm like, I don't know anything about that. But then she just climbs. I'm gonna need a ladder. I know how to fix loading bay doors. I work on that all the time.
Right.
It's just like,
yeah. So they're not even consistent within what they establish in their own show.
Exactly. That's how I feel. Exactly. All right, this one's called Leia Does Not Know Obi Wan.
Thank you. Will I ever see you again?
Maybe. Someday. If you ever need help from a tired old man. But we must be careful. No one must know, or it could endanger us both.
Goodbye. Obi Wan.
Goodbye, Princess.
General Kenobi, years ago you served my father in the Clone Wars. Now he begs you to help him in his struggle against the Empire. I regret that I am unable to present my father's request to you in person, but my ship has fallen under attack, and I'm afraid my mission to bring you to Alderaan has failed. This is our most desperate hour. Help me, Obi Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you.
You're who?
I'm here to rescue you. I've got your R2 unit. I'm here with Ben Kenobi.
Ben Kenobi? Where is he?
Come on. Can't believe he's gone.
There wasn't anything you could have done.
All right, so I have a couple different things here. And some of this is going to be on George Lucas in the Star Wars movie. First off, you get no sense of feeling that Leia ever knew who Kenobi was personally. She obviously knew of him because her father obviously told her the stories. Hey, this Jedi served me well in the Clone Wars. I'm going to send you to retrieve him, bring him back here. We need his help right now, and basically tells her the stories. She knows of him. He's this great warrior during the Clone Wars, blah, 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 whatever. So she's going to get this guy, but she should only know him as Obi-Wan because he really didn't go by Ben till he got on Tatooine. So when Luke said Ben Kenobi when he was rescuing her, she should have been like, Ben Kenobi, who's that? But that's just a minor thing. But still, she there was nothing given previously in Star Wars at all that she ever knew Kenobi personally. I absolutely reject that point in the story wholeheartedly, 100%. This is one of the biggest things for me out of this story, that on talking about dying on a hill, I will die on this hill. It's just, it didn't happen. You can do the mental gymnastics and make excuses all day long, but there's just no evidence to support that she knew him personally and had that kind of relationship with him, where they're holding hands and being sweet on each other, and him telling her about her real parents, and then her just being like, okay, that's all I needed to know. You don't have to tell me anymore. That's good enough. What? No, tell me who they were. Where are they? What happened to them? Are they alive? Are they dead? Like, she's just, okay, that's enough information for me. Bye, Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I didn't like
so
it. Was a
dumb.
good scene, but that was bad.
Yeah. It just does not fit. It just does not fit.
I agree. Michelle?
I agree too.
So Leia did not know Obi-Wan?
I think like she knew who, like, of him, but she didn't really she didn't really know him.
Yeah, she didn't know him personally. I mean, and I gave this analogy before with Coach, Michelle. I told him, I'm like, if me and Coach were putting together a 5-on-5 basketball team against some other guys that are way younger and better than us, and we're like, man, this $1 million is on the line, but we need one more person. And I go to Coach and I'm like, Coach, Michael Jordan's playing with us. He'd get up and be like, Michael Jordan, of course he knows who he is, but he doesn't know him personally, so yeah, it just doesn't add up, no matter which way you spin it.
So I think some people in the chat are not quite getting what we're saying here. I think it's, and it's okay. Like, yes, we understand she knows him now. Like, we get it. What we're saying is, before this show, there's no evidence to suggest that Leia ever knew Obi Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, personally.
Yeah.
She obviously knew of him and who he was from her father, but there's no evidence to support that she knew him personally and had this kind of relationship with him.
Aaron Kidd right here says they're hoping that the emotion of the scene will outweigh the inconsistency of canon.
Yeah. F that.
Like at the most you believe is like maybe she saw him before, like at some point in her life, but she was too little to speak to him, or I don't know, but she just doesn't know him. That's just the bottom line.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So the next time we have a call-in show, I want some of you guys to come on and tell me what evidence you have to suggest that she knew him before the show.
Yeah. I will debate anybody.
Yeah. Because I'll just be interested. That's all. All right. Here's the next thing.
I sense something. A presence I've not felt since... I've been waiting for you, Obi-Wan. We meet again at last. The circle is now complete. When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master.
Only a master of evil, Darth.
So this right here is going back to the point of, if you listen to the dialogue, listen to the words being said. We meet again, Obi-Wan, at last. The dialogue he uses, it doesn't imply anything that they had met just previously. And George Lucas has already said that their fight on Mustafar was the last time they saw each other since A New Hope. So they literally broke George Lucas canon on this one, with them meeting again in this show. I absolutely hated it that they met again in this. That and the Leia thing are the two things that are the biggest issues for me. So yeah, that's basically the point behind that clip.
Do you know, I'm actually a person, and that's why the show really should have been able to be really good to me. I'm actually a person, and I totally see what you're saying with that line, the way that the line's worded. When I left you, I mean, you kind of more assume like when they were together as Anakin and Obi-Wan. But I'm one that's always used the line in Return of the Jedi of Obi-Wan once thought as you did. And it's like, well, when did we see that? So I
got a clip
was
on that
one
too.
that was open to it. I very much was. It's just this show is so bad that it made me not open to anything because it was horrible.
Yeah, that Jedi clip is
Who are you here with?
That Jedi clip is one that will hit
awesome.
again later on, for sure.
Okay.
But yeah, this one, it just the dialogue in George Lucas's own words proved that they never met again, and they shouldn't have met. In this episode, I thought it would have been a lot more impactful because I've said several times on here, you know, if you're going to tell a story that happens in between two other stories, that story should only enhance what's come before it and what comes after it. So what would have been a better idea is if they never would have met, but you would have seen a parallel storyline with Vader and Kenobi in the show with Vader trying to hunting down Jedi and trying to find out leads on where Kenobi is and all that, and basically come to the conclusion that he's gone or he must be dead already, and basically gives up looking for him. Then you see them meet again on the Death Star in episode 4. Because if you look at Alec Guinness's face, Obi-Wan's face in there, when he walks up, it's like he's seeing him again for the first time since that time on Mustafar. You know, I don't ever get the sense from those scenes that they had just fought each other, 10 years prior. So that, along with George Lucas's own words, who said that they never met, goes to show that they did not, and I hated that aspect of this storyline. Even though I thought the lightsaber battle was there was elements of it that I thought were cool, but it doesn't work for me. Being an OT George Lucas purist.
Do you want me to hit the next clip?
Yep.
All right, here we go.
That's not how the Force works. Oh, really? You're cold?
So again, we get video game Force powers, which is cool, but it's just not George Lucas Star Wars, and it's not it's not the Force in the OT. I loved the Force Unleashed game, which was not canon. When Starkiller was bringing down the Star Destroyer, I was like, God, the Force powers are like, it's like freaking Super Saiyan 3 freaking Goku, So that aspect is cool in a video game. But that kind of Force power and the way the Force works was not established that way in the OT or the prequels.
Well, one of my problems with some of this is like Vader. I actually said in one of our reviews that I thought Vader was too powered. Like the power to the extent it doesn't fit with what we already know of Vader. Like he's doing things that then you're like, well, why didn't you just do that time? Like that would have made it a lot easier.
Yeah, and that's basically the point behind that, because it's like, he just did that to one ship, but then I guess he was on Force power cooldown, because he ran out of Force power when the other ship was taken off. And it's like, and then when the Falcon's taken off, why didn't he just use that then? You know,
I had exactly the same issue when I watched that opening scene of The Force Awakens where Kylo Ren stops the laser blast midair. And I'm like, why didn't Darth Vader do that on Empire at Bespin when Han Solo unloaded a clip on him? You know, he just like caught him with his hands.
Yeah.
You know, that, and I was like, oh, it's got to be bigger and better. That's what they got to do.
Yeah.
You know, that's just.
You know what I think of when I think of a lot of these Disney Star Wars films and shows is I look at George Lucas Star Wars as like a walk through like the Rocky Mountains, like everything's real, everything's nice. And Disney Star Wars is like walking through Vegas. Everything has pretty lights and everything's nice to look at. And there's a bunch of sounds and ringy bells and flashy things. And it's just like, oh, wow, look how cool this is. I like a little bit more substance. I like a little bit more realness. And this just feels, corporatized, big time corporatized, with a lot of flashiness that's not necessary, in my opinion.
So, Michelle, you said that you thought that they made Vader too overpowered. So, what did you think when you watched Obi Wan Kenobi absolutely kick his tail?
Well, then since they overpowered Vader, they then had to overpower Obi. Like everyone just had to be overpowered. And then when they need people to not be overpowered, like Riva with Lars and Aunt Peru, then they all of a sudden don't have these powers. It's just really horribly written is the bottom line.
Yeah. Right after she gets stabbed with the lightsaber.
For the second time.
For the second time. And she's running around, fighting people and chasing Luke down and stuff. But it goes back to the Kylo Ren thing, Rey was able to beat him, because he was injured, so they had to give some sort of handicap to the OP person so that the other morons in the show could actually have a fighting chance.
So Colleen is wanting to know what does overpowered mean?
He has more power than we see him later on in life.
Yeah, he just stopped a ship from leaving.
Yeah.
We've never seen anything like that. I never saw Darth Vader do anything like that in the original trilogy. Did you?
Yep. Or even when he was fighting Riva and doing all the Bruce Lee Force.
Oh, I know. Like just making her sit there frozen.
Yeah, I was just like, I mean, it looks cool, but again, this is just flashy fluff stuff that's cool to look at, but it just doesn't feel real and it doesn't feel genuine to George Lucas's Star Wars universe.
And here's the other thing.
Then why didn't he do that with Luke in Return of the Jedi?
Yeah,
or in Empire when Luke barely knew anything. Riva would have been more of a danger to Darth Vader than Luke in Empire.
Yeah.
So people's headcanon, they're going to be like, oh, well, he's just letting Luke feel fighting and use his anger. Come on, man. Quit doing that.
Well, and then I think, too, there's also the issue. I mean, I guess this is a different issue. This is more writing. But it's like Vader was always, he's a very smart villain. Like in Empire Strikes Back, like he has this whole elaborate plot to trick Luke, to get Luke where he wants him. And he goes it very methodically throughout the entire movie of tracking down Han Solo, freezing him to make sure he's I mean, it's a big plan that Vader has. And he's very skillfully executing it. And it just like in this, like with Disney, he almost seems dumb at times. Like, Riva, okay, yeah, you can live now. And it just doesn't feel like Vader in any way. And then instead of him just being a smart villain, now he's this ridiculously powered villain. And that's just never who Vader was. Vader was very skilled, very powerful, but what we really see in the I almost said the Old Testament.
That's okay.
The original
He's Moses.
trilogy,
He's going to hold that staff up.
what we see in the original trilogy, they just don't line up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, see, that's how a lot of us felt when we watched the end of Rogue One. It was an awesome scene, but it kind of just didn't fit.
Yeah.
So, and guys, we're not saying that you're stupid if you disagree. We're just telling you what what we think. Like,
And I
geez.
even think Rogue One fits more than what we saw in this show, because in Rogue One, I mean, he's just dealing with like normal soldiers, and he's
In a
really just
hallway.
kind of in a hallway. He's really just slashing through them with the lightsaber, and then an occasional like force hold and choke. It's that I can actually believe, but like in this show, it was just a lot of stuff that you're just like, okay, like I don't know about this.
Yeah, it was a lot of video game force powers.
Yes.
You know,
There was. Why didn't Darth Vader walk into that in Rogue One, put his hand up, and just make everybody frozen?
Yeah.
Where he doesn't even have to deflect blasters.
Yeah, and if you go back to the prequels, you know, George Lucas introduced that with the force jump and the force speed. You know, they were able to jump super high, which we did see that from Luke in Empire. You know, but that was like the only time. Well, of course, and then in Jedi when he flips up on top of the platform. But yeah, there's a lot of different cases of instances with the force power basically being pulled in from video games, it seems like.
Even look at the end of Rogue One. Like he goes through the hallway, he slaughters them all in the hallway, and then the final shot of Vader is him watching the ship get away. So that would have been a great moment to use
For
that
him to use that force power to grab the ship. Yeah. Oh man, I should have edited that part in there too. That's a good idea. I should have talked to you while I was doing these clips.
Yeah, that's to me, it's like Disney has to make things that come across bigger and better. And when you do that, it causes things like this.
Star Killer Base. It's bigger. It's better.
Yeah.
You know, the final fleet in Rise of Skywalker, like the whole sky is filled with ships. You know, it's just, you know, everything's bigger. Like I said, it's like freaking Vegas. You know, tons of flashy lights and bells and whistles and stuff. You know, without any real substance. You know.
Yeah. All right, we ready? Here we go.
We're tracking him in an escape craft. There's one life form aboard.
That's him.
My lord, we must continue our pursuit of the insurgents. Now is our chance to wipe out this network in its entirety. We cannot prioritize one lone Jedi.
He is not just any Jedi. Follow Kenobi.
We need to scramble our fighters. 5 bloody minutes ago.
Yeah. They have a shuttle that we obviously see Vader take, you know, to go meet Kenobi down on the planet. And it's a Star Destroyer that has, you know, squadrons of TIE fighters. Like, why are they not releasing fighters? You know, it doesn't make any sense. They could have achieved both objectives there. And one other question: can you guys hear the sound on these clips? Okay, because I can barely.
It's kind of low. It's kind of low, but we can hear it.
Okay.
Yep. All right. So, talk about this one, Nick.
That boy is our last hope.
No, there is another.
All right, I want everybody to justify this one, and good luck. I'll be waiting.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get fired up about this one. All the people saying that Nick hates everything. He's too negative. Justify this one. I'm waiting. Go ahead, Nick.
So this one.
Hang on. One more time for the show.
That boy is our last hope.
No, there is another.
If you want us to just open our mouths and consume like it's Cheerios and we're 3, you're at the wrong place.
Yeah.
Go, Nick.
Yep. So this right here, you know, we see Kenobi in his relationship with Leia, and him basically saying she's the future. Bail Organa saying she's just as important. You know, she's one of the kids too, and all that. But then you go to this scene, and Obi-Wan's like, he's our only hope, you know. And then when Yoda says, "No, there's another," see, this goes back to where I think Lucas messed up. You know, if you take that as implied, you know, Obi-Wan doesn't know who this other is. Obviously, they have a conversation, and he finds out by the time Luke comes back in Jedi and tells Luke about it. But obviously, in that moment in Empire, he didn't know that there was another. He didn't know anything about Princess Leia. So you would come to a conclusion that they were separated, and Obi-Wan only knew about Luke, you know, and was sent to Tatooine to look over and watch after Luke. He didn't know about both of them. Yoda did, but Yoda never told him any of that information until after that scene in Empire. And if Obi-Wan really felt that way about Leia, you know, why did he in that point say, well, if he dies, you know, we got Leia, you know, she's we can reach out to her and get her to be the hope for the galaxy.
Yeah, so this one's kind of on Lucas too, by the way, because Ben Kenobi knew that Leia existed. He knew that Anakin, the Emperor knew as I did, if Anakin were to have any offspring, he didn't say a boy, he said any offspring. Ben Kenobi served in the Jedi Temple with a ton of other female Jedi. He didn't think Leia was capable. He's a sexist, y'all. He's a sexist.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm getting feisty tonight. I apologize, y'all.
Yeah. It just
I'm sitting here reading the chat, and y'all are getting me fired up.
it just doesn't line up. And and like when I watch stuff, like I watch it with a critical eye. You know, I watch it and I tie things together. You know, stuff's got to make sense for me. You know, I like some things that are, you know, just fluff and just there for just entertainment. You know, but Star Wars, I'm passionate about it. And it's like Lord of the Rings. It's such a good story. You know, everything's just got to make sense, you know, and like I said, I'm passionate about the story, and I know it inside and out.
No, you just hate everything.
Yeah, which is not true.
I know. All right, here we go. Last clip, everybody. Thank you for suffering through it, I guess. Here we go.
Come with me. Obi-Wan once thought as you do.
So this is another one that I don't only put on Disney. I put this on Lucas too, because we never see this moment between Kenobi and Vader where Kenobi's trying to get him to, you know, come back. You know, in Revenge of the Sith, there should have been a moment like, you know, maybe while Padme was there before they started fighting, like, Anakin, don't do this, you know, come back to the light side. I know there's still good in you. You don't want to do this, you know, have this conversation with him, trying to keep him from going down this path. But we don't get any of that between them. So when Vader says this in Jedi, you know, and you mentioned this earlier, Michelle, you know, we don't actually see this. So I thought, well, you know, and Coach thought so too, you know, maybe we'll see that moment in this show. And we still didn't get it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And that's why I was always like, okay with the show when some of my other friends weren't, because I just thought that line gave room for something we haven't seen. And then they didn't even really do that.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. But that's basically my thoughts on that clip.
Well, there's the end of the clip. Michelle, will you tell everybody how you came to like Star Wars?
Gosh, man, I don't even really remember, because Star Wars is kind of one of those things in my life. I don't remember a time it wasn't in my life. Because we have a brother, well, he's 7 years older than me, 5 years older than my sister. And he was a massive Star Wars fan. So, I mean, we've got video footage of me at Disney when I'm 2 with a lightsaber mowing him down as Darth Vader. So I don't remember a time it wasn't in my life, and I just grew up loving it. And even Natalie really enjoyed it. It was just something, I guess, that the three of us shared together, kind of thing.
Yeah. So it stuck with you this whole time. Can you tell me what are some of your very favorite moments in Star Wars? And to warm you up, I'll share a couple of mine.
Okay.
one of my favorite moments of all time is the moment Vader and Obi-Wan are fighting on the Death Star, and Obi-Wan turns and looks at Luke, and then he looks back at Vader and gives him that sideways little grin, like, I know something you don't know.
Yeah.
And then he sacrifices himself. I love that. That is one of my all-time favorite moments in Star Wars. Anything. I pretty much love every scene with Obi-Wan, even the ones that now currently don't really make a lot of sense. So
I can tell you, and this shows, and I think this actually speaks to why the original trilogy worked on so many levels and is so beloved today. I'm gonna go for a scene that's such a classic. I'm a girl, and I enjoyed this scene. Because my as a kid, I always loved, as a little kid, I always loved Return of the Jedi the most. And then it was when I was about 16 years old, I realized I like Empire the most. And going into that, and that's why I say, because it's such a girl move. Literally one of my favorite scenes in all of Star Wars and really all of cinema is Han, I love you. I know. Like that moment is just so good because I was always, as much as I love Luke and the Jedi, I was just a Han Solo girl. And that scene, that line delivery just so fit the character and the moment in such an amazing way, the way that's filmed. I literally, that's one of my favorite moments in Star Wars.
right. Well, that is awesome. So we got to do it. Pull no punches. You don't have to worry about what I think or anybody else thinks. Let's talk Kenobi.
Okay.
So the dust has settled. It is over. As you look back on it, what are you thinking?
It was really poorly written and very forgettable. Like in about another week, my mind's going to kind of do what it did with the Book of Boba Fett. And it's just outside of those episodes with Mando, like forgotten. Like that's what this is going to do.
Right. So let's do this for the people in the audience that are like, oh, they're beating us up with all this negative stuff.
I wanted to like this show. I was
Yeah.
one of those that was on board and thought that this could be really great, but I was also very nervous because again, I gave you that moment for growing up and one of my favorite Star Wars moments. But I realized kind of watching through Clone Wars and coming up with the prequels, like I really, really like Obi Wan Kenobi is one of my favorite, if not my, it's so hard to pick a favorite Jedi, but he's one of my favorites. Like I love Obi Wan Kenobi and I love Ewan McGregor as Obi Wan Kenobi. And I think that's why this hit me so hard. It was almost like my Last Jedi moment, like where it was this character I love so much and it was just so bad, like the whole thing. And I think it was just like, again, I kept saying on our reviews, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed.
I understand completely. So we've actually said that this was people's Last Jedi moment, especially people who liked the prequels more, probably. That old Obi-Wan Kenobi is my favorite character in Star Wars ever. Here, are you here?
Yep.
All right. So why don't you two talk about things that you thought the series did well or scenes that you liked? Can we do that? Is that
It's going to be a really short list for me.
That's okay.
Same with me. But
That's okay.
But there's some stuff I liked that I thought was done well in the show.
Let's see. Okay, things that I liked. I enjoyed. Again, I wish they would have actually given them money to de-age, but it was I really did enjoy seeing Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen on screen together in episode 5. That one moment they gave us, it was one of those that hit the feels in the right way. So I enjoyed that one moment.
That's your list. One thing.
Okay.
I mean, that's fine if it is. I didn't know if you were done.
I'm trying to think.
It shouldn't be that difficult to come up with positive things, and that's the most disappointing thing about this show Is we should be able to come off and be like, this was awesome, but this is the state that the show's put a lot of fans in to where we're struggling to find something positive about it.
It is. And do you know, when I went back and watched, I do think that the sound department did an amazing job in the final episode when Vader's mask is ripped and going between Hayden Christensen's voice and the Vader voice. I thought that was really cool. It sounded cool, it looked cool. And Hayden Christensen, I thought, did a really good job with how he acted out that moment. So I would say that was a really awesome moment, but we've already seen that moment with Ahsoka and Vader.
Yeah.
And when you do a carbon copy of something we've already seen,
No. It wasn't carbon copy.
Impact.
It wasn't carbon copy, Michelle. It was the other side of the helmet, so it's not the same.
It was the left side, not the right
Yeah.
side. Yeah, but do you get what I'm saying? It's like that moment would have hit so much harder had I not seen that in Rebels. The exact same moment.
Yeah, if they weren't recycling
Yes.
old stuff, then yeah, I agree with you there.
But those two moments are like the only thing I can really think of. This show was just such a massive disappointment to me. Genuinely, it really was.
Yeah. Couple things for me. Just off the top of my head, I enjoyed seeing Ewan McGregor back. I enjoyed seeing Hayden Christensen back. I'm glad they got to come back and work together. I'm glad they got the same actors to play Uncle Owen and Beru to come back. I enjoyed seeing them on screen again. I thought the Star Destroyer looked really well. It didn't look like bad CGI. It actually looked like an actual model, like from the OT. I thought that was well done. I thought Vader's voice sounded really good. I actually liked Vader's voice better in this show than I did in Rogue One. And
better.
And I liked Rogue One. But I could tell that was Grandpa James Earl Jones' voice and not OT Vader voice. But they did a good job with his voice in this show. In Rogue One?
Rogue One, yeah.
Yeah. In Rogue One, I could tell it was Grandpa.
Yeah. It was strained a little.
Yeah.
A little high.
Yeah. And so I liked that. I thought the choreography on the lightsaber fighting was decent. I thought it was okay. It doesn't compare to the battle that they had in Revenge of the Sith by any means, but I thought it was decent. I thought the acting from Ewan was spot on. I thought the acting from Tala's character, I always forget her name, Irva Dharma, or I can't ever remember to pronounce it right, but you guys know who I'm talking about. But I thought she did a good job with her performance in the show. Let's see, what's some other things?
What's bad is like everything good you say, I can think of a negative that goes along with it. And I don't feel like I usually feel that way.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely could as well. But those are just some of the things that stand out that I thought were
yeah, she was a good character. She was a good character. But I don't know if she was good enough to make her death as dramatic as they made it.
Absolutely not. I wasn't even really that big of a fan of her character, but I thought her performance, as far as her acting ability, portraying that character, I thought was well done. I mean, even when Coach and I reviewed the episode where they infiltrate freaking Inquisitorius Maximus, whatever the fortress is, when she's talking to that guy, and then she gets stern with him, and he's like, whoa, I'm sorry, like I thought her performance was really well done there. I thought the stormtroopers looked great, even though they were typical red shirt stormtroopers that basically are there to fall over and die. I really hope in the Andor show that stormtroopers are brought back to be some sort of threat and not there just to have bodies falling and dying.
Yeah.
And that's really all I can think of off the top of my head.
Well, you did better than me, Nick.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to think of things. I will say that when we released some clips of the final 2 episodes the other day, like as standalone clips, they were pretty good. They were pretty good. But when I look at them like as
In their
one full story,
in their
some
content.
some of the stuff just doesn't fit. And that's what we're pointing out tonight. Respectfully, guys. Respectfully. But some people can't handle hearing any type of critique or criticism. You know, I liked seeing Anakin's face inside the helmet in live action. It was a very powerful moment. But here's the catch 22. I don't like seeing Vader get whooped by Obi Wan again.
And I don't like them seeing their meeting at all, period. So, but yeah, and the thing is, guys, is like Coach said, we're doing this respectfully. We're building a case in explaining why this show doesn't work for us. Because so many people are like, I don't know how you didn't like that show. Like, it was awesome, 10 out of 10. Like, really? 10 out of 10? No room for improvement? I find that hard to believe. And so we're giving you evidence and backing up our opinions with, actual clips and lines and stuff from the show to kind of explain where we're coming from. You don't have to agree with our takes on this, but some of the stuff cannot be debated, plain and simple.
No, well, and it's kind of like too, I think with some of the critiques and stuff, again, it's more like I'm disappointed. I wanted this to be really great, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
I wanted this to be as good as The Mandalorian, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it wasn't as good as some of the seasons of Rebels, personally. And I hold it to a higher standard because it's live action with Obi-Wan and Vader. Yeah, this just, so it's one thing for people to enjoy the show, and that's great. And we always say that on our channel too. We genuinely are happy if you enjoyed something that we did it. We don't care at all. But we are pointing out things, I think, even just inconsistencies in writing and in the story. And with that, I can't feel bad, because if they had taken the time to write a better story, then the people who love it right now would love it just as much or more.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we wouldn't feel quite the way we feel about it.
Yeah, 100%. And I've said that before, Michelle. I was saying in one of our streams, I was like, if you would have put me and Coach in that writer's room and been like, look, go back, listen to what they say, look at their faces and their expressions tell a lot. So think about it. This should be the case here because it lines up, it makes sense. Then when you see this scene, it enhances the scene even more, and we could have helped develop a story that I think would have far surpassed this one, and the people that love this show would have still liked this.
Absolutely.
And then everybody else would have also probably been on board and been like, oh God, that makes sense, because I never ever in a million years would have built up suspense of Reva going after Beru and Owen and Luke when you already know that they're okay because they're in episode 4.
Yeah, so everyone's okay.
Yeah, they're building the suspenseful moment. Like, oh no, she's going after Luke. Hurry, Kenobi, get there, stop him. Like, no, I'm not worried. Guess what? Spoiler alert, guys, they're okay. So why take the time to build that suspenseful moment when the audience already knows that they're okay? It's sort of like Vader and Kenobi fighting again. When I was watching it, it was like looking at the Vegas lights and stuff. It's a bunch of bells and whistles and flashy things. Neither one of them are going to die here. They're going to end up meeting again. So it's all fluff and flashiness. There's no substance. It's like give milk for a baby. And for me, I need some more meat on the bone. Like, I need something with a little bit more substance to it. And I thought this show lacked substance.
Well, I think the only way this show was going to work is if it was a lot of substance. because you're having to overcome the fans having strong opinions about if this should even happen, if Vader and Obi-Wan should even meet. So you don't want to do too much because then you lead to what we're doing right now, critiquing everything. So this should have been a very substance, well-written story that was very character driven. Where this, I mean, what is the plot of the show? Basically, again, it's like the book of Boba Fett, where there was really no story. They just wanted to get you to a big battle at the very end. That's all they wanted to do. That was it. That was like all that was written on their paper, I think. And with this show, all they wanted to get you to was him fighting Vader twice. That was it. I mean, Leia is captured.
Rematch of the century.
Yeah, Leia is literally captured and then re-gotten twice in 6 episodes. Like, that's how poorly written.
Yeah. And then guess what? Guess what, Michelle? Spoiler, we get to see her get rescued again in episode 4. And then guess what? We got to see her get rescued again in episode 5. Oh, and guess what, Michelle? We also get to see her get rescued again in Return of the Jedi. We don't need any more rescuing of Princess Leia. I thought it was terrible that they even had her in this show. There should have been a lot more focus around Luke and Kenobi. Leia would have made more sense to me in the Andor show with the rebels and stuff, because Bail Organa would have been involved. It would have made sense, that she would have shown up or that we would have seen her. But in this show, it just felt like they literally just rammed her right up everyone's stupid asses. And it was like, here is Leia. We're forcing her right into Kenobi's life. Boom, here you go. And it's like, Disney princess time. No, it doesn't make sense, in the scope of things that's come before and after it.
The bottom line, I've said this many times, I think in like every review we did for the show, this should have been a well-written 2-hour movie. And if done right, that we got to eliminate all the fluff, all the nonsense, 2 hours, and even if it goes over 2 hours, so be it, as long as it's well-written. But it should have been around there. And this movie would have been killer at the box office. But it should have been kind of a slow burn with Kenobi and lead up to some great event. And maybe it's Vader, maybe it's a Grand Inquisitor, but done really well. I don't know. But let it, do you get what I'm saying? Because you don't want to do too much with Kenobi because you can't, because of what our canon is. But you could have made a really good, getting in his psyche, that type of thing where he is, and then let it be a slow burn to something that is really good. But what we got, I think I'm scratching my head on what did we get sometimes. What was the point of this?
Yeah, because so in the show, we see an established relationship with Kenobi and Leia. We see another fight with Vader and Kenobi. Once you get to episode 4, how does any of that play in to what comes after this story? It doesn't at all, because at the end it's like, we know each other, but guess what? You can't tell anybody, or you might get in trouble. What? Seriously? This is how you're going to try to fix the stupidness that you've done in the show with this one line? Oh, you can't tell anybody. That's why she didn't say anything and had to be formal in the message. No, it is Disney just freaking trying to hand feed you freaking Gerber baby food here. It's dumb. So
Gerber baby.
The thing is, literally, it just, you could literally skip this whole series because it doesn't enhance anything that comes after it at all.
And again, in about one more week, my mind has already kind of begun to forget the show until I came on the show and having to rethink about it. That's where we are.
From memory. I'm erasing it from my memory like the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, so give me another week and I'm not ever going to think about the show again. Besides an occasional, man, that was kind of bad. That's what I'll do. This show, there's nothing about it that I'm going to hold on to that really enriches any of the characters that we already know.
Yeah. And the thing is, after tonight's live stream, and after these clips drop and stuff tomorrow, unless there's news about Kenobi 2, I'll be surprised if me and Coach talk about the show ever again. You know,
Yeah.
like it in my mind it's time to move on and look forward to Andor. You know, and hopefully that show. I care nothing about the Andor character, but with the writing team that's involved with that story and it basically being a spy thriller, I think that it shows some bit of promise, and I hope that it's better and I enjoy it.
I mean, if it's a really good spy thriller, I could be really into that. At this
Yeah.
point, I have no real confidence that Disney will let anything be. When I say mature, I don't mean that like in a bad way, but just like a mature story.
Exactly. That's what I want and that's the thing about the prequels. When I watched the prequels back when I was, what were we, Coach? 19?
Yeah.
At the time.
Yes.
You know, when I watched the prequels, especially episode 1, I was like, what is this? Sesame Street and Star Wars? Like, it was just like, oh, but that last bit of the end, with the fight with Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan and Maul, oh my God, chef's kiss to that. Like, it was the best part of that entire movie.
Oh,
that
yeah.
felt mature. They injected that matureness in there, but then you get all the other goofiness of episode 1. And the pod race was, of course, cool, but there's so much goofiness in there. It really pulled me out. And that's what I'm hoping this Andor show does is it's a little bit more of a mature, adult-like story. And there's not a bunch of Disney-fied, childish foo-foo crap in there. Like, I want a freaking mature, adult-like, but also kid family friendly show. I'm fine with that. I'm not looking for Deadpool Star Wars here.
Here's the thing, and I've said this multiple times as we've talked about the show through the last 5 weeks. There is a difference. I know people like to say, "Oh, George Lucas made Star Wars for kids," whatever. There is a difference between, okay, Star Wars, the original trilogy, is what I call family friendly. A family can sit down and watch together, but it is not a kids movie.
Yeah, it's not Saturday morning cartoons.
Yes, like a kids movie is written for kids. A family
Sesame
movie,
Street, Mr. Rogers.
Yes, a family movie can be everyone in the household can enjoy it because there's aspects that kids could like, but there's a maturity to the story that older people grab onto.
Absolutely agree.
And Disney's not really figured that out yet, like how to do that. This show to me felt like it was written for like 10 and under is what it felt like.
Yeah, I agree. And I to be fair, I think they did a pretty good job giving us somewhat of a mature story. Actually, a pretty mature story with Rogue One. That's why it's my favorite.
Yes.
That's why it's my favorite. But again, it didn't focus on legacy characters. It was more with the Rebels and the Empire and that sort of thing. And that's why I'm like, okay, well, you got that formula down. Learn from the few mistakes you had with Rogue One going into this Andor show. Plus, the writers that you got involved are top notch for this kind of story. So, use that to your advantage. Don't let the idiots in the Star Wars story group, Pablo Hidalgo and all them, come in there and jack it all up with all their nonsense. Like, let these writers, they've already proven that they can write competent stories as spy thriller shows and films, and let them do their job, and then hand it over to the director, and hopefully it's good. So I'll hold out for Andor, even though I don't really care anything about the character. Again, I think there's a possibility of a good story here.
Well, I think if they don't keep the same beats as Rogue One, then who's going to watch the show? Like,
yeah.
It needs to follow that level of maturity to be consistent again with what we've seen.
Yeah, this definitely can't be a kiddie, type movie. It's got to have some seriousness to it. And the same thing with Obi-Wan. I was like, this is during the dark times that Obi-Wan talked about, when the Empire is ruling the galaxy. This show should be dark. And it almost was like a comedy, like a bad comedy, that wasn't funny at all. And so hopefully they get it right with Andor, and then hopefully we'll everybody can be on the same page with that show. And I think Ahsoka, with Filoni being involved in Mando season 3, I think there's high potential of those being good shows. And a lot of those will probably be more nitpicky critical things, like things that aren't going to really make or break the show for me. But this right here, this Kenobi show was just completely broken for me.
Well, and I think Ahsoka, kind of like The Mandalorian, could even feel like a Saturday morning cartoon, but in live action. But we accept that because we didn't know anything about The Mandalorian was new to us, and with Ahsoka, we know her from cartoons, so we will accept both of those being that way. But that's how Obi Wan felt to me, like again, like a bad episode of Rebels. And it's just like, no, that's not how I know these characters. They need to be on a big screen, like with like a good story. It just didn't fit. It didn't feel like the same thing.
Yeah. Yep. Coach, comments? I'm gonna let you speak for a minute. I'm here, but I'm just gonna mute.
Man, I'm with you. Like I don't even want to talk about Kenobi anymore. After
I'm over it.
After and it's not even the show. It's like people like not being cool with having a conversation. And I'm definitely not talking about y'all. I'm talking about the chat. Some people in the chat. Well, I'm just not used to this. Everything over here is like Mr. Rogers most of the time. So this has been like, wow. As much as we go out of our way to give everybody a voice and let them be heard, if me and Nick doesn't like something, some people just can't handle that. And so
that's a lack of maturity on
so
their
if you're
part.
one of those people, you need to bounce.
Yeah, lack of maturity on your part.
Yeah. Like, because I'm a free thinker. I'm going to believe what I believe and think what I think. And if you can't handle that, go find you a channel that believes what you believe this week. And then you'll be leaving them, because nobody's going to be a clone of you. So that's, I don't know. It's pretty, I hate to see the Star Wars fandom all like this.
Yeah.
I hate
you should be able to like and disagree. I mean, clearly, if people see my background, I really enjoyed The Mandalorian. Like, I really, really liked Mandalorian season 1 and 2, but I have not liked the Book of Boba Fett or Kenobi. So right now they're 2 and 2. I have 2 seasons of Star Wars shows I like, and 2 seasons of Star Wars shows I don't like.
Yep, and we have no problem with people that like this show.
No,
if you like the show, and I always feel like I got to repeat myself here. Our opinions are our own. We're just expressing them to you. So don't be a childish baby and take it as a direct insult to you or your intelligence. This is our thoughts. These are our opinions. If you feel differently, guess what? I don't care. I'm not going to lose sleep over it, and I'm not going to argue or try to change your mind. I'm just giving you my viewpoints and why I think this way. And if you aren't going to have the maturity to have a respectful discourse, then you can get the F out.
Nick's had it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Grow up. Be adults here. We respect your opinions. You can come on our pop-ins, on our call-ins, and gush on this show all day, all night. And guess what? We'll be we didn't think that, but we're glad that you liked it. We're glad that you found some enjoyment in the show. We just, we're jealous. We wish we felt the same. We just don't. So,
all right, I got super chats to hit. Are y'all ready?
Right.
Y'all, both of you, feel free to comment. Dwight Paladin with $5. I still, from what I've watched, animated choices go Bad Batch, Rebels, then Clone Wars. We Are You, our Echo-based network. So he's talking about which ones he likes in order there. The Melvor, Ewoks for the win.
Hell yeah, Melvor.
Thank you, Dwight and Melvor. Dwight with another $5. Everyone smash that like button. Remember, Bubba was there to Nick. No more disintegration. I'm not sure what you were saying there, Dwight, but thank you, buddy. Mr. Buttcrack Media, hello to the lovely Michelle from Force of Light.
Hello
Thank you,
to
sir.
the Mr. Buttcrack Media.
Venger, I sent that link to the Echo Base Twitter message thingy. I will look at that. Thank you,
Thanks,
Venger.
thanks, Venger.
Yes. Scrolling. Man, my finger is hurting.
Normally, I'm on there and have all these ready to roll.
Colleen, the best thing about the true Star Wars is in the nuances and the need to not have to explain everything. Subtle nuances, classic Star Wars, and that's what was taken away in the sequels.
Agreed.
Yep. Thank you, Colleen.
Thanks, Colleen.
Darth City, in Legends, Obi Wan thought he killed Anakin and was shocked to learn he had survived.
I did read Legends. And Legends wasn't George Lucas canon. It's the movies. Theatrical.
But you still kind of thought that Obi Wan assumed he was dead, right?
No, I never did. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't see why people would think that. I can understand people that would come to that conclusion and think that. I always just assumed that he knew that he was still out there.
Yeah, I guess I do too, thinking about it. Because the way he talks to Luke in his home, when he says a young Jedi named Darth Vader betrayed and murdered your father.
Yeah.
He was speaking like that guy wasn't dead too.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm with you on that. But I guess I started thinking, Nick, that Obi-Wan thought Anakin was dead after I watched episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
That's when
yeah,
when
and I can see people having that viewpoint there. My only argument is it was never said concrete one way or another. So I think either viewpoint is open to interpretation, and I got no issue if somebody thinks that they thought he was dead.
Yep. Joe B with $5. I do wish Kenobi and Vader never met in the show, but Vader just sensed him. It would have been much better to me, just Vader hunting Kenobi.
100% agree.
Yep. I do too. Nick hates everything. I just scrolled by that. Oh my goodness. Just Nova 1138. Thought is the key word in Jedi. Vader didn't quote nor mention a verbal conversation.
I'm not sure what that's referencing to.
I'm not sure either.
Key word in Jedi.
Oh, Obi-Wan once thought as you did is what the line she's referring to.
Okay. Thought is the key word. Vader didn't quote nor mention a verbal conversation, so he never said. So I guess what they're saying here, just Nova is saying is that Vader, thought that that's what Kenobi thought. Kenobi thought like you did, but there was never any verbal conversation between the two of him actually speaking those words. So I think that's a fair argument.
All right. Nick Craig with $5. I have friends at work that love this show like I do, and I would love to debate a few points with your guest. I just think we're getting one side. Well, Nick, we'll have to have pop-ins sometime soon, my friend. That would be or we'll do call-ins in a few days, and you're welcome to call in the show and give us your point of view.
Mm-hmm.
That is welcome here. Debbie Young, $4.99. It's not just the writing, the story checker. Pablo Hidalgo let it go by. He didn't correct it. Hey.
Pablo Hidalgo is terrible. Absolutely terrible. How he still has a job there. I could do his job better than he's doing his job. He's terrible.
Clay Decker, $10. Say whatever you want about this series, but I'm sure we can all agree that Hayden finally got his chance to shine, and I can't wait to see him again in the Ahsoka series. I agree.
Yeah, I agree. That's one of the things that I said that I enjoyed about the show. I'm glad that Hayden got to come back. I'm glad that he came out at Star Wars Celebration, him and Ewan McGregor, and the whole crowd cheered them on and stuff. I would have been right there cheering with them. I like seeing those two on screen together. My issue isn't with them, the actors. It is all about the writing and the story. That is my main issue, and I think that's the biggest thing that you have to get right before you get the actors and the special effects right and all that. The story's got to be there.
Yeah. Clay Decker with $5 again. Andor looks like it has the largest production value of any of the Disney Plus series, including Marvel, and that alone is giving me hope. I think a lot of people have hope with Andor.
Yeah, I literally had no interest in Andor. I care nothing about the character, have no interest in the show. But once I learned about the writing team involved, I was like, holy crap, man. These guys are top notch on this type of story writing. So now my interest level is greatly increased for the Andor show for sure.
Yep. And CS with $2, Reva in the Andor show. I wouldn't be surprised.
God, I
at
hope
this
not.
point. Yeah, I hope not, but I would not be surprised.
She'll get stabbed.
Some article came out
through the heart.
Yeah, some article came out today from one of these news sites, and they ranked the top 10 Inquisitors of all time, and they gave Reva number 1.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Qui-Gon, how will you guys feel if Andor starts with Reva going to Dagobah and Yoda making her Grand Master of the Jedi Order? 1 out
I'm
of
gonna
10
be
for
honest.
Kenobi.
I just kind of want to forget Reva in this whole show.
Yeah, I want to see no more Reva. I swear, if they do a Reva show, I don't even know if I want to watch it and review it. For
I'm
the
not
show.
gonna watch it.
Yeah, like we might be forced to just for our audience. Like we might have to take a poll and see if they want us to cover it. But I'm literally not gonna enjoy having to sit through watching Reva in her own show.
Yep. Lele 520, Reva being the reason Luke lives made me throw my hands up, including the other nonsense. I'll stick to the prequel trilogy and original trilogy in the EU. Oh, and Rogue One.
Yeah, out of all the movies that Disney's done, Rogue One is the only one that exists in my own headcanon.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, absolutely. And Valiant Renegade with $10. $10 for EBN finally getting some talent on the show. Hey, Michelle.
Hey, Valiant.
Just Nova 1138. To be fair, George had respect for children's intelligence back in the day.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
This is the way I loved the Grand Inquisitor in the show. I thought he did great. I would have liked to seen a lot more of it.
I hated his big egghead, but I didn't have a problem with his character.
Yeah.
Just the design behind it.
Valientes with $20 for them to randomly put Luke in danger of dying at the hands of probably the worst Star Wars character ever is just as offensive as his portrayal in The Last Jedi. Luke should be living a mostly peaceful life on Tatooine.
I agree. And you kind of see that somewhat, when you get to episode 4, I was going to the Tashi station to pick up some power converters. You can waste time with your friends later, he's got his speeder. He's just a boy, and of course, they throw that line in there in Kenobi at the end. You're right. He just needs to be just a boy, because that's what we come to find out and interpret his life to have been on Tatooine as a farmer there, a moisture farmer. So, yeah.
I accidentally skipped a couple of super chats. The Melvor, Negative Nick, make a shirt of that. It will be done. It will be done. I promise. Debbie Young, $4.99. It's just not. Oh, I hit that one. Where is? Oh, there. It is. Matt Risman with $10. Sorry, I missed you, Matt. It's heartbreaking to me because the conversation quickly devolved from the reasons why folks felt Kenobi was good or bad to, if you don't agree with my opinion on Kenobi, then you are a fake fan. That's happening a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't think Matt's saying, you correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, I don't think you're saying that we're saying that. I hope not.
Yeah,
but
because
that
that's
is
definitely
what's
not the
happening.
case.
That is happening on at other places.
Yeah, for sure.
If you disagree with me, you're not a real fan.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think either one of us, even on a bad day, would say something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said, no, not you, just in general. Yep.
Yeah.
I agree,
I
bro.
would agree with that.
Well, you know, I got your back, Matt. I got your back, and I agree with you. See, Matt's point the other night on a live stream was that this show, Michelle, I want you to speak on this a little bit. Here's what happened. Matt was on a panel with some gentlemen that I know the majority of them, good guys. And Matt made the comment that he thought that he watched every episode of Kenobi 6 times. He really enjoyed the show. I think he gave it an 8 out of 10. But he said, I enjoyed the show, but I don't think the show was a success because the fandom is all over the place. There's not like a clear majority loving it, seeing it the same way that he does. There's a lot of divisiveness. And when you have that is an indication that the show's not as good as the general fan base would have wanted. What do you say?
I totally agree. I mean, I think, and again, it's as we say on our show, like we want people to like what they watch, or especially if you pay a ticket to go see a movie, it sucks to watch something that you don't like. I mean, no one exactly turns on a movie and like, I'm going to watch this movie that I'm going to hate. That's not typically why people watch stuff. So it's always good to like what you like, but yeah, that is a good approach to take to it. Like, because it is when the fandom is so divided and so split, it was like The Last Jedi. Something's off. And I think for me, when I talk to people, I think the bottom line with this show is amongst a lot of good Star Wars fans, they're like, kind of type feeling over the show. And then it's like this show, the way you know success or not success with like cultural success. Let's just say Stranger Things, as far as television, has dominated culture, TikTok, the conversation, and no one cares about Obi Wan Kenobi. Like
not in relation to Stranger Things. Yeah.
In culture.
Well,
now, The Mandalorian was into culture. Like all of culture has pictures of Grogu and the show, and then the Luke moment. But that does not happen at all with this show. And, in my opinion, it should have.
I've been a public educator for 17 years now. And since I started, Star Wars resonating with the younger generation has been on a decline the entire time.
Yeah.
Kids don't talk about Star Wars.
Yeah.
They don't wear the shirts. They don't play the games. They don't talk about it. I know some of you are like, well, my son does, or I get it. Yes, but I'm saying it's not like when I was their age.
Yes.
And Star Wars was a dominant force in our pop culture. It's not anymore.
I want to address someone put in the comments, no one nitpicks Stranger Things. Oh, I know people who hated season 3 of Stranger Things and then came back and thought season 4 was just so well written and well done. Okay, people begin to get a nitpicks. Well, I could pick out nitpicks. In fact, in a review, I did a nitpick on a Stranger Thing, something that I was like, that's a bit much in one of the episodes, are hard to believe, but that's fine. I think I think a lot of people have gone beyond nitpicks with Obi-Wan. A nitpick is like in a well-written show, you have a nitpick. It's not a big deal. It's a little gripe. And I think a lot of people, and again, it's totally fine if you like this show, but a lot of people overall love Stranger Things season 4 and overall don't really care about Obi-Wan Kenobi in culture. Again, not just Star Wars fans, in culture.
Yeah. Stranger Things is dominating. Top Gun 2. How many people are trashing on Top Gun 2?
Nobody.
It's killing in the box office right now.
Yeah.
You just don't see the same reverence for this Kenobi show that you do with some of these other shows. Better Call Saul, which the mid-season finale was just a couple weeks ago. People are hyped on that show, looking forward to the next half of that season, and so many of these other shows and movies and stuff. And with Kenobi, it's all over the place. And now, you're going to get a different gauge depending on what YouTube channel you watch or whatnot. But if it was overwhelmingly accepted, overwhelmingly most all channels would probably be talking positive about it. And just talking about nitpicks like what you were talking about, Michelle, is some of these things that I've mentioned tonight and some of these clips are some nitpicky things, but some of these things I do not feel are nitpicks. I mean, these are straight up contradictions with story on what's come before and what's come after. And in some of these points, I just don't see how you can argue against them. Some of them I think are definitely debatable. But some of them, in my opinion, I just don't see how you can debate against what I said on it.
I'm with you. I agree. So thank you, Matt, for sending that in. And here's the follow up to what took place there. And so I'll publicly say this in supporting Matt, my friend and our moderator here and Grandmaster. Comment was made by one of the panelists that said he's watched it 6 times and he still doesn't get it. And that made Matt very upset to say, like, that's the kind of stuff that isn't cool.
Yeah.
Like, I refuse to see it like you do. You're wrong. And the guy was thinking Kenobi's a 10 out of 10 or whatever. And it's a huge success. And what are you talking about? It's not a success. You've watched it 6 times. What do you, and he refused to listen. And that's part of the problem. And so I think that right there is an example of what Josh from the Den of Nerds have been talking about, toxic positivity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, something's wrong with you.
Yeah. You're the idiot.
Yeah. You're the idiot. What's wrong with you?
Yeah. You're the one that doesn't get it.
And Matt loves it.
Yeah. Matt liked the show. Like, he didn't think it was a 10 out of 10. He didn't go that far with it. Which
Matt just said, maybe I will finally get it on the 7th watch.
Yeah. Yeah. Which respect to Matt for suffering through those each episode 6 times. I couldn't have done that. But yeah, he liked the show, but he knew, he was fair about it and, knew that it had some flaws, but overall, he really enjoyed the show, and there's nothing wrong with that. And anybody else in the chat that feels the same way, there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with it at all.
Yeah. Yep. That's right. All right, guys. Well, we still got a couple more super chats. Qui-Gon, Bail and Leia should be dead after this series.
Oh God, Bail Organa, one of the dumbest people in the show. Oh God, the stupidity level of that guy. Geez, man, don't even get me started. I'll get on another rant. But yeah, the Empire knows now of her getting kidnapped and Kenobi's connection with them, but yet they still are alive for the next 10 years. The Empire isn't, taking them off their throne on Alderaan and putting them in a freaking forced labor camp or something,
Right. Blood Guilty Gaming Clone Wars animated series was amazing. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Could watch that any day. House of Trades for $5. Hell, EBN. I was hoping they would have killed Kenobi in the last episode just so George could sue the pants off Disney. As it is, Kenobi is diminished.
Not wrong.
Yeah, I agree. And CS, $5. Amber and Uncle Owen defeated the Grand Inquisitor, Reva, but got burned and killed by stormtroopers. I don't buy it.
exactly. And that was the point behind one of the clips from tonight.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, look, Michelle, thank you for coming on here. You didn't know you were walking into the lion's den.
I'm happy to be here. Happy to talk
Well,
Kenobi one last time.
we appreciate it very much. Very much.
Enjoyed having you on the show for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, well, thank you.
Any closing thoughts? Everybody go and subscribe to Force of Light Entertainment. The girls are wonderful. Nick, closing thoughts?
Y'all stay tuned. We're going to be having an announcement here pretty soon for next year's EBN meetup at ICCon in Nashville. Hopefully, Michelle and Natalie can make it out next year. It's not too far away from them, as well as a lot of you in chat. Hopefully you guys will be able to make it out. We had such a fun time just hanging out with each other, and meeting all the celebrities there and seeing all the merchandise and toys and collectibles, and it was just a fun time hanging out. Looking forward to it, and so we'll be getting an announcement in under 2 weeks, so people can start planning for next year.
Yep. Michelle, would you like to plug your show?
Yeah, you can check us out at Force of Light Entertainment, me and my co-host, my sister. As we do a lot of movie reviews. We just reviewed Elvis, the new Elvis movie. And we're going to be recording ourselves watching the last 2 episodes of Stranger Things. We're going to get those reactions out soon.
Nice.
So
me and Coach will be doing the same.
Yeah. We're looking
Can't
forward
wait.
to it.
I'm definitely looking forward to the first. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Maybe we'll talk about that next week, Nick.
Yeah.
You can be positive.
All right.
We'll be positive the whole show.
Stranger Things Network.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank y'all for being here. See you later.